Yes, I am. I'm already recording, Queen. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and welcome from good evening in my part of the world. Maybe good morning. Sounds like I heard parts of Asia. I heard quite a few of our folks there in Australia. So I know around the globe it might be in the morning. We thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to visit your future. My gosh, and they're still coming on. So welcome. Now, tonight's webinar is what we call a combo webinar. If you are brand new and you've never been to any of our webinars, if you have not registered for THW Global, we're going to talk about her on tonight. It's going to be a free registration. So I want you to hide your purse, hide your credit cards, and just listen to the content. Then what we're going to do, so we're going to spend about 30 minutes or so. I've got a new presentation to share with our audience about THW Global. So I hopefully we can keep it in that 35 minute time frame. Then we're going to take a quick break. And then we're going to do some basic marketing training, what I like to refer to as finger paint training. There's a lot of people, obviously, on this webinar, you're looking to build some type of enterprise, obviously THW Global. For those of you that are new, hopefully that will be something that you will put in your income producing portfolio. There are others of you that might be building other things, and the principles that it takes to build a THW global business is not that different than the principles to build your nutritional business or your weight loss business or what have you. Now, we're not here to talk about other businesses, but what we do want to do is give you value so that you can start to understand how do you crack this online internet mobile marketing thingy. You know, how do you make money online? How do you make money building your business? And so that's what the second part, the optional part of our webinar will be on the combo. Now, I want to do something a little differently tonight with our webinar. THW Global just released, its formal compensation documentation late last week. Thursday night is when we first started to see it, and then we had a chance to start to analyze it over the weekend. And so with that, there's been some terminology changes. And of course, if you're new, you don't know that. And so that's not a big deal to you. So I thought that we'd have some fun tonight and we do a slightly different presentation. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you we're going to do this in a story format. Okay. We're going to have a little fun with this. We're going to do this in a story format. And so, obviously, when you're telling a story, let's say like a parable, if you will, that it isn't necessarily all true, but it's designed to bring about a point. So I'm going to talk about YouTube, and I'm going to say some things about YouTube that we know it didn't happen that way, and I'll point it out. Hey, you know, I'm just using this to give a parallel so that you'll understand how we see THW Global. Okay. All right. And I probably flubbed that up, but you'll see what I mean as we get started. Okay. All right. So I want to talk about YouTube because the THW Global platform is most closely associated with YouTube. All right. So now let's go back in 2005. All right, this is when YouTube was founded. Now, nobody knew who YouTube was when it was founded. Now, we all know YouTube now. You know, I think it's now like 5 billion videos a day are viewed on YouTube. But that certainly wasn't the case at its founding. YouTube was founded on February 14th, 2005. There were 3 former employees of PayPal. Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim. I hope I'm saying those names correctly. So they founded it in February of 2005. Now, what's interesting is the very first video was not uploaded until April of 2005. So YouTube is founded February of 2005. It doesn't upload its first video until April of 2005. And it wasn't that great of a video, okay? As a matter of fact, after the webinar, feel free to go to YouTube and type in something like first ever video loaded on YouTube, and you'll see this 18-second video. This is Jawed Karim, one of the original founders of YouTube. You see a young guy. I mean, young kid. And he was at a San Diego zoo, and 18 seconds, he talked about the elephants and their long trunks. I mean, very impressive, okay? Now, my point in saying this, and here's where the little parable comes into play, okay? Here's where the little the fable comes into play. At that time, YouTube is coming into the online space, and their goal was to ultimately be a huge player, Cheyenne, in the advertising world. But Linda, there's a challenge, all right? Back in 2005, nobody knows anything about YouTube, and they want to be a big player in the advertising space. And at that time, the giant, Dr. Chris, in the advertising space is TV advertising. So TV advertising is the giant, Ken. YouTube ultimately wants to be a big player in the advertising space. Now, we all thought that YouTube was a video sharing site. No. It is an advertising platform wrapped around or wrapped in a video sharing site. So here was the idea of YouTube, was to develop a huge user base of people that would watch content that they were interested in. If you're a sports fan like I am, then you go to YouTube and you watch some sports videos. If you are a pet lover, then you're going to YouTube and you're watching videos as it relates to pets or what have you. If you love personal development, you're going to YouTube and you're looking for personal development. If you're looking for news, if you're a political buff, maybe you're going to YouTube and what have you. So the whole idea behind YouTube was to, the end game is we want to be a powerful advertising force. Right now, there's giants in the land, namely called TV advertising. How in the heck do we compete with TV advertising? Nobody knows who we are. Okay, now here's the parable portion of it, okay? So let's say that back then, this is my fictitious, my scenario, my hypothetical, my perhaps it didn't quite happen this way, so here are all of my disclaimers in case you happen to come on the webinar right at this point. So let's say that YouTube said, okay, we've got to be innovative. We've got to do something, Laura, that other platforms are not doing, because what's our end goal? What's the end goal, Julio? The end goal is to be a major player in the advertising arena. But nobody knows about YouTube. And how do you stack that up against TV advertising way back in 2005? Because that's where so much of the advertising dollars were going. So YouTube comes up. This is a scenario. This is hypothetical. YouTube comes up with this idea that, hey, why don't we reward those that watch videos on our platform? We'll give them, let's think of it. We'll give them tokens. We'll give them tokens. And then these tokens, they can convert to points. And then the points, they can convert to cash. So tokens become points, points become cash. Or you could do a gift card or what have you. But let's keep it at cash. We probably all would prefer the cash. All right, so YouTube says, this is fictitious. Back in 2005, our end game is we want to be a big player in the advertising arena, but to get to the biggest players in advertising, where they want to advertise on our platform, we have to have a lot of people that are coming to our platform on a daily basis. And the way that we're going to draw a lot of people to us is we're going to reward them, that when they watch videos, we're going to give them some tokens. Tokens become points, points become cash. And then if they were to send out a link, maybe they share our link. See, back then, Facebook was just starting in 2004. So Facebook wasn't the big player that it is now. Back then, it was MySpace. You remember that? You remember that, MySpace? So if they share a YouTube video on MySpace, then when someone watches that YouTube video on MySpace, Sean shares it with his MySpace users, and Kathy watches it. Well, when Kathy watches it from Sean's link, hey, let's give Sean some more tokens that can become points that then become cash. Now, what if YouTube had done that? Now, obviously, when they first came out of the gate, nobody would have known what that was going to actually look like. because YouTube was brand new. And it likely was that those first few months, maybe first few weeks or what have you, people made some money. I don't know if it was enough would have been enough to write home about. Don't know. But as the system matured, as more people used the system, as they started to attracting more advertisers, now all of a sudden, people, by simply doing what they had already been doing, you're watching videos, you were only using the YouTube platform then. People were already starting to search. Remember, they were searching through things like Ask Jeeves. You remember that? Way back then? And then they started searching through Google. And of course, we know what has happened there. All right. And then shopping online became in vogue. So what if there was a platform where you watch videos with interest that you're interested in? You're interested in cooking, so you watch videos about cooking. You're interested in camping, you watch videos about camping. You're interested in sports, you watch videos about sports. You're interested in religion, you watch videos about religion. Okay? And then every time you watch videos, you earn these tokens that could be converted to points and points to cash. And then what happens is, if you share those videos and somebody else watches those videos through now your Facebook or your Twitter, when they watch videos that you sent out because you found value in the videos and you sent it out, now all of a sudden you earn even more tokens that can be converted to points to cash. All right, so let's take a look at what began to happen with YouTube. Okay? So YouTube begins in February 2005. First video loaded April of 2005. I'll skip past Google buying them for $1.65 billion. Obviously, that was a big deal. All right. In 2007, YouTube launched in 9 other countries. So it's very important to note that it took YouTube 2 years and about 4 months before they launched outside of the U.S. So 2 years, let's call it 2.5 years before they launched outside of the U.S. And then we see by October 2009. So YouTube comes into the marketplace February 2005. First video loaded April of 2005. By October 2009, it took them 4 years and some change, about 4.5 years, before they got to the point that they were doing 1 billion video views a day. And that's no inconsequential number. All right, that was 11,574 videos being viewed every second. Okay, now what if YouTube was paying or rewarding these tokens to get to this point? And what if you had been one of the first people that caught the vision and you started earning tokens as you were watching, and you started earning tokens as you started sharing videos? And let's say that YouTube said, our target is that we want to get you to the point where you could ultimately earn as much as $1,000 a month just by you watching our content or shopping online or searching through our search engine or what have you. Now, maybe you didn't start off at $1,000 a month because it's got to mature. All right. But that's the ultimate game plan, is that a person could earn up to $1,000 a month. And of course, when I say $1,000 a month, that's still going to be relative, because certain countries obviously may not earn as much because the average wage is not nearly that. All right. But relatively speaking. All right. So probably not out the gate, but maybe over time. But what if you had been one of the first folks that caught that vision and you set up a YouTube account for free? It didn't cost you anything. So what the heck, you might as well set up an account for free. And you started viewing content, maybe started sharing that content, and then maybe started going through the search engine, which, by the way, now YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. All right. After Google. Google owns YouTube. And you notice here that it took a little while before they had the first billion videos a day being viewed, right? From 2005 to 2009. But it only took another few months to go from 1 billion to 2 billion. That reminded me of something that someone shared with me years ago, one of my mentors. He said that 90% of the fuel that's used in a launch, let's say a space shuttle launch, that 90% of that fuel that is used is actually used in getting off the launching pad. That's where it takes all of the energy, the effort, just kind of getting launched. That's 90% of it. And so now you see, wait a minute. Remember what the whole game plan all along was advertising. Now you start to see a new type of ad called True View ads in December 2010. And then they hit 3 billion views. All right, took about a year to go from 2 billion views a day to 3 billion views a day. 50% increase in the amount of videos being viewed in just a year's time. What if they had been rewarding you and I with tokens that became points that we could convert to cash, and we had gotten that vision early on? Now, of course, there would have been some people who said, that ain't gonna work. Why are you spending that time on that YouTube thing? Now, there would have been folks who would have said that, and there would have been folks who would have missed out on that and what have you. But what if we had had the vision? Just what if? Okay. 4 billion views, 2012. And I just tell you what, let's see what this means right now. So where's YouTube right now? Total number of people that use YouTube, 1.3 billion. I promise you, if you look at that very first video back in 2005, on April 2005, you would not have thought that it would become the juggernaut that it has become. 300 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. Almost 5 billion videos now are watched on YouTube every single day. The total number of hours of video watched on YouTube each month is 900 million hours. Look at this one, 80%. Look at this one. 80% of YouTube's views are outside of the US. Remember, it was born in the US. The first 9 additional countries didn't even come online until after YouTube was over 2 years old. But now 80% of all of YouTube's views come from outside of the US. The average number of mobile YouTube video views per day is over 1 billion. Mobile YouTuber users spend 40 minutes on an average session. Think that through. A person going and viewing YouTube on mobile spends on average 40 minutes. And that's up 50% from the previous year. Now more than half of the YouTube views come from mobile devices. I want you to put this asterisk for those of you that want to build any type of enterprise. You want to build the marketing side of THW Global. You've got a weight loss offer. You've got whatever your offer happens to be. All right. Let's say you got some other marketing thing that you're promoting or what have you. I want you to make a big note. You've got to incorporate mobile. You've got to incorporate mobile. We'll talk more about that on our Thursday night webinars. Okay. So what I want you to see, ladies and gentlemen, give me a moment. The number of hours people spend watching videos on YouTube is up 60% year over year, the fastest growth they've seen in 2 years. They now have 76 different languages. And so what I want you to see is what were very humble beginnings back in 2005. Who would have thought this would become the major juggernaut? Now, what kind of income has this created? Well, YouTube is said to be worth $100 billion. So this is a $100 billion brand. And who has really been the major ones that have benefited from that? Because the reality is YouTube didn't have tokens that we earn that became points, that became cash. Now, there is a platform that will do that, which is what we'll talk about in the next few moments. All right. But hey, I want you to meet Larry Page. Who's Larry Page? Larry, how you doing, buddy? Larry is one of the co-founders of Google. And of course, now Google owns YouTube. I feel a little scratch in my throat. Give me a moment. Let me get a little water here. Okay. So Larry is the co-founder of Google. He's worth $38.4 billion, ladies and gentlemen. And that's up over $5 billion from his 2015 net worth. He's number 10 in the Forbes 400 list, and number 11 in the Forbes 400 list is his buddy, Mr. Brin here, who's also a co-founder of Google, $37.6 billion. Excuse me. Let me mute out because I feel a cough. Give me just a moment. Okay, thank you. So here's my point. By the way, notice even on the Forbes website here, what do we have over here? Advertising. What do we have over here? Give me a moment. We've got advertising, okay? All right, so remember, YouTube, the whole game plan was to be a major player in advertising. To get there, they needed to have a huge user base. They decided to go with a video sharing platform. And in our scenario, they were rewarding people with tokens that became points that became cash. Well, the reality is they never gave anybody tokens. They've done all of this without giving out any tokens that become points that become cash. And so I want to introduce you to a new platform. It's so new, it hasn't even really launched yet. It's in what's called the soft launch stage, and it's called THW Global. The THW stands for 10 hours a week. So here's the thing, THW Global, they want to be a big player in the advertising space. Right now, the global advertising industry is a $650 billion industry. In the next 2-3 years, they want to have 1% market share. That would be $6.5 billion in revenue. But they know you can't just come off the street now and try to duplicate what YouTube did, because YouTube has so much of the market share in the video sharing space. And you can't just try to duplicate what Facebook did. Facebook does about $5.2 billion a quarter, at least they did in the first quarter of this year, in ad revenue, 1.6 billion users all across the globe. Mind you, Facebook doesn't reward its people with tokens. So they've gone from 2004, nobody knew who they were, started on a college campus, to now 2016, 1.6 billion users, 1/6 or 1/7 of the entire human population is on Facebook. Okay, so how do you compete? How do you become a big player? You've got to do something that's different, something that's innovative, and that is what THW Global is doing. So you'll see, here's the platform. Looks a lot like YouTube. If we were to click on here and we wanted to watch this particular video, before you watch the video, you've got some advertising over here to the right. This is the same video that we just had here, but it starts off with a commercial, and so you're viewing the commercial. Now, if you're earning tokens that you can convert to points and then to cash, you're a lot more likely to want to watch the commercial because you're earning tokens. And so you're watching content that you want to watch, whether it's sports or politics or religion or whatever, okay? Camping, cooking, what have you. You're watching content that you want to want to watch. Ultimately, if you want to upload content, you'll be able to do that. I'm a content producer, so I upload a lot of content to YouTube. I'll be uploading a lot of content to THW Global. And I'll be sharing a lot of that content just like I do with YouTube. To my email list and to my SMS text list. I'm always sending out training and YouTube videos. Well, instead of doing that, I'll send out THW Global, but because THW Global is going to reward me with tokens that become points that ultimately become cash. All right, so now, real quickly. So here's the deal. I'm sorry, I've gotten ahead of myself. Bear with me. Alrighty, so here we go. So right now, you are likely engaged on a daily basis in some type of internet activity where you're watching something, or maybe you're shopping. Amazon, eBay, Walmart.com, what have you, okay? What THW Global is doing is they're building this portal where virtually everything that you and I do every day anyway, we can earn tokens if we do it through the THW Global portal. So you're going to shop anyway. Simply go through the THW Global portal and do your shopping and earn tokens that then become points that then convert to cash. Some of you might want to participate in some surveys, all right? Earn tokens that then become points that you can convert to cash. Obviously, watching videos like we just saw with the video platform, discover. There's going to be some companies that maybe are newer and they're trying to get their name into the marketplace. And so they might offer some really big deals if you come and check them out, or maybe offer some free samples of a product or a service to get them into the marketplace. All right. That's what the discover is. And then search. Google does about $17 billion a quarter in revenue. Now, of course, Google owns YouTube, so not all of that is from search, but a lot of that is from search. You go and you search something, what are you typically going to see? Some ads. And if you click on that ad, then the person behind that ad, that advertiser, is getting charged per click. If you were to go to Google right now and put in best mesothelioma lawyer, those ads that pop up, the average that a advertiser is paying for that keyword, best mesothelioma lawyer, is $935.71. So please don't go there and put that in there and click onto the link if you have no intention of connecting with a best mesothelioma lawyer. My whole point is what THW Global is building. What they're saying to us is, hey, do the stuff you already do anyway. Just do it through us so you can earn tokens, convert those tokens to points, redeem those points into gift cards or money, into cash. Okay. All right. So now let's start to, got just a little bit more here. Got just a little bit more. So now, what kind of money can we make? What kind of money can we make? Okay. Now, because we're just getting this thing started, chances are what you make at the start won't be the same thing you'll make 3 months from now. And what you make 3 months from now likely won't be what you make 6 months from now. Meaning as the system matures, you're likely going to make more and more and more money. Now, there are two types of what we call IVs. An IV is an international viewer. And I'm only going to focus on one type tonight, and that's the free one. That's the one that doesn't cost you any money. That's the one that there is no stress. That's the one I don't have to have a financial commitment. I don't have to worry about, going to my wife, or wife going to husband, or significant other going to significant other saying, hey, should I come up with some money to do this thing? There is a side where you can make more money if you were to come out of pocket. But I told you to hide your wallet, hide your purse, hide your credit card. So let's just deal with the free side tonight. And then down the road, you'll find out more about the paid side and what have you. So you can be an international viewer absolutely free. Doesn't cost you anything. Okay. And you can earn up to $1,000 a month viewing the content, shopping online, going to the search engines. Are you going to earn that in the first 30 days, first 60 days? Likely not. I don't know what that number is going to be. We've got to build up some momentum. We've got to have some numbers going online every day, doing stuff that they normally would do to attract enough advertisers to pay us to up to the $1,000. But in time, the goal is that a person could earn up to $1,000 a month with no marketing, no recruiting, no telling anybody else, simply doing the things they already do online, just doing it through the THW Global portal. Now, when will you earn $1,000? Couldn't tell you that. I don't know. This is where we've got to have some vision. And that's why I wanted to go back and look at YouTube and look at, my gosh, if YouTube had done this, now knowing what we know about YouTube, who wouldn't have turned YouTube into its daily internet portal? Okay. The second thing you can do is you can begin building a referral network where others, register their THW Global site through you. And then they can build their own referral network, and they can build their own referral network. Now, if you're not good at that building referral network stuff, don't worry about that. That's why we're going to do some combo training here in just a few moments. But I wanted to give you an example of what could happen. Now, I will be the first one to say that this is probably not going to be the average case. Here's a person, this is a retiree, somebody sent this to me, they're a retiree, and they personally referred 3 users. Level 1, 3 users. This is a 10-level compensation structure, okay? And out of those 3 users they referred, one of their people referred 1. So 2 people hadn't referred anybody. Only 1 person referred 1. And then this 1 person here happened to refer somebody that referred a lot. And so now all of a sudden on this person's 3rd level, there's 248 users. So these are 248 folks that can now go to the internet and use THW Global as their primary portal to shop and to view videos and to search in the search engine, so on and so forth. But now look at what has happened over time. And this is without what I'm going to teach in the second part of the webinar. Okay. This is just a few people that knew a few people that knew a few people. And all of a sudden there's 20,000 folks that are users. All right. Now, you can earn up to $1,000 a month doing what you already do, but doing it through the THW Global portal. Now, is that going to happen day one once the system goes fully live? Probably not. It will probably take some time to build up to that. Okay. You can also earn up to $10,000 a month when users in your community, this person referred 3, who referred 1, who referred 248. And the collective 248 referred 2062, and the collective 2062 referred 3872. And now this person's got 20,000 folks in their community. So when the collective community is viewing and sharing and shopping, this person can earn up to $10,000 a month. Well, shoot, with 20,000 folks in your organization, that just means at 50 cents a person on average, you're at 10 grand a month. Now that's as a free IV. At some point, this person, they're making, starting to see that they're making money. They're going to want to become what's called a certified IV, where you have an unlimited amount of income that you could generate. So we know that the YouTube story that I presented was a scenario, but I did that to say, hey, what if? It's not costing you anything. There is a way that you can pay and you can unlock some more income potential. And there's some great things that you would get when you do that. I'm not even talking about that right now. This is a new platform. Maybe you're not ready for that right now. Maybe you need some confidence. Maybe you've been beaten up a little bit. Maybe you've been slapped around a little bit online. Maybe you've been, stuck a few times online. And so I don't know about that, but I could do the free thing. Well, that's what I would encourage you to do. All right, let's start round third here. Now, here is how we can be of best service to you. We've been in this industry 20 plus years. Okay. 1994 is when we got in this industry. And we know what it's like to build large organizations, large teams. And we know why that's so important, to develop a residual income where even if you are not there, you can generate massive revenues. And for me, it really became real back in 2006. My wife, somehow she got some crazy infection. They called it necrotizing fasciitis. Some of you might have heard of MRSA. All right, necrotizing fasciitis is a flesh-eating bacterial infection. And we went into the hospital just thinking that she was dehydrated. And next thing we knew, they're taking her to surgery and they're telling me that she might not make it. And so for those 3.5 weeks that she was in the hospital, I wasn't thinking about building a business, coming onto a webinar. We didn't do webinars back then. We did conference calls and things like that. I wasn't thinking about any of that kind of stuff. But I had already built a residual business through a network marketing company that was generating about 20 grand a month. So money wasn't the issue. I didn't have to worry about the money. So I was able to focus all of my time and all of my efforts on being a husband and being a father, the weightier matters in life. And so I want to, Queen and I and our leadership team, we want to help you build your business, whether it's your THW Global business or whatever thing that you might be building. And so here is what we submit to you. And we call it our 10-hour pledge. It says this. It says tenant number 1, because THW Global is going to allow us to leverage their portal up to 10 hours a week and earn these tokens that become points, that become cash. All right, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to pledge. I want you to covenant that you're going to maximize your 10 hours a week. You're going to maximize your 10 hours a week. All right. You're going to maximize your 10 hours a week. Okay. And you're really you're doing the stuff that you're doing already. You just go through the search engine of THW Global, go through the shopping engine of THW Global, go through the video engine of THW Global. All right. A couple hours a day. All right. Doing what you already do. All right. Then the second tenet is whatever you earn from your viewing, take 50 to 100% of that and invest that into your business in the form of the tools and the resources and the paid traffic to build your network. Now, most people, the reason they're not successful building any type of online enterprise is they don't have the proper tools and resources. So I want you to treat your viewing income, however much it is. If it's $1,000 a month, great. If it's $200 a month, great. Whatever it happens to be, I want you to view that as a seed, a minimum of 50%, as much as 100%. And the reason most people struggle building any type of enterprise is they don't have the right tools. They don't have the tools to build a list, which is vital if you're going to build any marketing, anything online or through mobile marketing. They don't have the tools or the resources necessary, and then they don't know how to drive high quality, laser targeted traffic. So if you take the 10-hour pledge, the whole idea is you use a little sweat equity, your 10 hours a week, you generate whatever that revenue is up in time. The hope is that it's as much as $1,000 a month just from what you're doing. I don't think it'll start off that way. All right, but is it costing you anything? No. If you want to go to the paid side of things where you can earn additional revenues, that's just not going to talk about it on tonight's webinar because of time. All right, but take that viewing income, invest that back into your business, that sweat equity back into your business, 50 to 100% of whatever the viewing income happens to be, so that you start getting the traffic, you start building your list. We're going to talk about that in our next part of the webinar, so that you ultimately build a long-term sustainable business. A long-term sustainable business doesn't come from the offer. It doesn't come from THW Global. It doesn't come from your weight loss company. It doesn't come from your nutritional company. A long-term sustainable business comes with you and you building your list, you building your following. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what we want to share with you. You join THW Global, yes, with the person that referred you, yes. But then you really plug into the things that we'll be sharing with you and teaching you, and the systems and the tools and the resources that we'll share with you to build our businesses, so that you can build your businesses, your long-term business, so that ultimately what you do in THW Global just becomes a catalyst for having other streams of income, even across other niches, so that you hotly pursue the passions of your heart because you've got the financial freedom and the time freedom. Okay, I'm past my time. I need to show you real quickly how to get started. So give me just a moment. Bear with me. All right, so I'm going to show you real quickly how to get started. You're going to get back to the person who referred you, and I'm just going to walk you through those quick startup steps. And I am over my time, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first time I've done this part of the presentation. So next week when we come back, we'll be able to scale it back a little bit. I do apologize for that. All right, give me just a moment. All right, so if you're here, you're new for the very first time, you're going to go back to the person that referred you and say, hey, send me your referral link, and then I'm going to show you exactly what to do with that referral link. One moment. I'm sorry I didn't already have this up. Forgive me. All right, now I'm going to do this from a test site so that I'm not showing my referral link, so that nobody makes a mistake. So you're going to get back to the person, obviously, that referred you, and you'll follow these steps. All right, here we go. Okay, so the person that is going to send you their referral link, up at the top right-hand corner, it's going to say presented by, it's going to be their name. They may have a business name. All right, so of course this is a sample that I'm doing. You're simply going to click where it says register now, and then you are going to put your real name. I'm going to put some test data in here. I'm going to say Joe Average Junior. All right, you're obviously going to put a real email address, Joe Average Junior at junior.com. All right, that's obviously test, and then you're going to give a username, Joe Average Junior, and then you're going to select a passcode. I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't you do that. Make sure you use a passcode that is not going to be too easy for people to figure out. You might want to write it down. A lot of people come back and say, I forgot my password. Okay, so we're going to write that down. And then you're going to choose your country. I'll just choose, I know we've got people from all over the world, but I heard more people from the U.S., so I'll go down here and I'll choose the U.S. Obviously, choose whatever country you happen to be in. All right, and you're going to click register. And it's that simple. You are now registered. Okay. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. All right. Then you're going to see where it says click here to access your account. And you're going to left click to access your account. That's going to bring you into the system. And at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to have this little message up here that says, in order to remain an active IV, you must subscribe to THW Global notifications. Go on and click subscribe now. That's going to allow you to be a part of their push notification system. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. All right. It doesn't appear to have worked right there, but sometimes they've got a huge list. So that could be the issue there. But go on and click subscribe and hopefully it'll work for you. Now, here's what you want to do. Once you've done that, that was real simple. You're going to come over here to where it says Survey Center. And you're going to click where it says Demographic Survey. And you're going to scroll down. And you're going to start to take the survey. It's going to take you about 5 minutes. All right. Are you male or are you female? What's your age? What's your race? So on and so forth. Then it's going to get into the things that interest you the most. High fashion, walking, natural, herbal, organic, what have you. You want to click everything that relates not only to you, but the people that are in your household. Okay. And what this is going to do is this is going to then have them serving the video content that is most closely associated with your interests. So if you're interested in cooking, then you'll have videos that you can watch about cooking. If you're interested in fishing, you'll have videos that you can watch about fishing, so on and so forth. So complete that survey. It's only going to take about 5 minutes. Again, click all those things that would be of interest of not only you, but folks in your family. So you've registered one. You click that little button to be a part of the push notifications, and it might not have worked for me because I'm already a part of the push notifications on this particular computer. And then you went to Survey Center, and then the last thing you're going to do, I'm sorry, I won't say the last, but the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the Message Center. And in the Message Center, you're going to have a welcome message. You're going to click where it says Unread, and then here will be your referral links. Now, they give you 3 links. You really only need 1. All right. And this is where you can refer others. I strongly recommend that if you have people in your household that are 18 or older, let's say you're married, you've got a significant other, you've got children in your household, or maybe mom and dad's living with you. All right. 18 or older, go on and send them your referral link. Let them register. So that they can also begin to turn the internet into their token machine, turn the internet into their token point cash machine by going through the THW Global system. All right. Okay. So that should have everyone that needs to get registered up and running. I'm going to take just a quick break, get a little water here, and then we're going to move into the combo part of our webinar, which is going to be our, what we like to call our finger paint. And we think about when you finger painted, it was when you were learning the basics, like in preschool or kindergarten or first grade or what have you. So we're going to give you some basic marketing training. It's not going to be over your head if you know nothing about marketing. And for those of you that already know a lot about marketing, then this will be, you going back to the basics, because a lot of times people get very, very fancy and they forget the basics. So we're going to do that in just about 2 or 3 minutes. Let me get a little swig of water and we'll go into our training. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there was one other thing I needed to say if you were new. Make sure that you have opted into our email list, and it's very likely that you already have in order to get to this webinar. But if someone just kind of patched you in or what have you, make sure you go to THWGlobalWebinar.com. Make sure that you've put in your best email address, and the system will also ask you to be a part of our push notification system. That's where you'll get a notification in your bottom right hand corner when we send out any content, whether it's a reminder of a webinar or whether it's training or what have you. You want to allow for that. Now, we will have to change this URL here very shortly, reading in the terms and conditions. We're not going to be allowed to use THW Global in any of our marketing or promotion or what have you, that that trademark name. You can go there now, and probably next week we'll have a new URL telling you to direct folks. So if you have any type of marketing with this particular URL on it, just be aware that we'll be making a change sometime probably next week. We'll let you know what that is. We may keep this up for a while and simply redirect it to the new domain, but ultimately we'll have to stop using the THW Global Webinar domain. But go there now. That'll opt you in. You'll be able to be a part of our push notifications, so on and so forth. We will never send any personal referral links of any kind to this particular list, because we know that a lot of people that are in this list, it's not because of our doing, it's because of your doing. All right. And we're just here. Hey, listen, I'm an international viewer just like you. I'm not support. I'm not an insider. I'm not the owner or anything like that. I'm just a dude who's been in this industry 20 plus years. We've had some successes in this industry. Of course, we've fallen on our face plenty of times as well. And we just want to provide as much value as we possibly can, not only to our own team, but to anyone in THW Global, because we understand the more that we help the entire THW Global family grow, then the more money people are going to make for doing the things that they normally do anyway, which is going to attract more and more people, which is ultimately going to attract more and more advertisers, and we're all going to make a lot of money, hopefully. Particularly if you follow the things we're teaching. All right, so let's go to work. I'm going to do a little review, some things that we covered last week, and then we're going to get to some new material. All righty, we're going to spend about half an hour. All right, about half an hour. So I am going over because I went over on the first part of the webinar. Preferably you got some value out of that. All right, 5 reasons that marketers fail. People neglect to work on the biggest asset, which is them. Your biggest asset in your business is not your offer, not what you're promoting. It's not even your list. Although your list is very, very important. It's your second biggest asset. It's really you. So, see, I could take someone that is working on themselves. They're doing some personal development on a daily basis. They are resetting their subconscious programming, because the decisions we make, we really don't make consciously. We make them subconsciously. And so in my case, I grew up loving parents, great family, great worship family. But a lot of times when I went to my worship experience, and this is not to make this a faith-based movement, the messaging I got was for me to make it to the other side, it would be much easier if I didn't have a lot of money. And so that kind of became ingrained. And when I first got into this industry, though I wanted it badly, I was fighting this subconscious programming. All right, so I saw people going across the stage making $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month, and I wanted it to be me, but I had this struggle inside of me. Can it be me? Do I deserve it? If I'm one of those people that makes a lot of money, am I going to be filthy rich as opposed to fabulously wealthy? So I had to do a lot of working on me. All right, so a lot of people neglect their biggest asset, which is them. I want you to work on you every day. I want you to spend 15, 20, 30 minutes a day listening to, reading, watching, however you learn the best. I learn the best by watching videos. That's just why I do most of my content is I do videos, because that's how I learn the best. I don't learn the best by reading. I learn the best by watching videos. So if that's the best way you learn, or if you're an audio learner, or if you're a reader, find something that works for you. Find some voices that resonate with you. And find voices that challenge you to become a better person, not just rah-rah stuff, all right? Most people don't have a funnel-based system. We're launching the first of our funnel-based systems to promote THW Global, maybe as early as next week. We did have to make some changes to some verbiage, because THW Global made some changes to some verbiage. We were hoping to launch it this week. It'll likely be as early as next week. Most people don't have a responsive list. So a lot of what we're going to be sharing with our audience is, how do you build this list? You need to have a funnel-based system to build a responsive list. Most people don't have compelling offers. We certainly have one with THW Global, but it doesn't matter how compelling the offer is if you don't have a good list, if you don't have a responsive list. You can have a list, but they may not respond to you. So how do we get people responding? We've got to have a list. Your biggest asset is you. Your second biggest asset is your following, and you develop your following with a responsive list. And most people, they just don't have a clue how to get laser targeted, high quality laser targeted traffic to their site. Hint, hint. You can't just go on Facebook and just start posting all over the place to get high quality laser targeted traffic. Now that might work early on. Let's say if you're promoting a new offer and it's brand new and you start going on Facebook, posting all over the place, you know, it's new. You might get some people joining you or what have you, but long term, that's not going to be a way that you build a long-term sustainable business. All right. That's just the truth. All right. So these are the 5 things that in any of our marketing training, we're going to be hitting somewhere talking about these 5 things. All right. So we talked about beginner marketers last week. People making less than $5,000. They don't have much of a list. They tend to be on the opportunity merry-go-round. They really don't have any clear path. All right. And if you missed that, someone remind me when we get to the optional Q&A. If you missed last week's training, I'll post it in the chat box so that you can get to that. So intermediate marketers, you're making some money, 5 to 10 grand a month. Probably not building the list that you should be building. A lot of intermediate marketers, especially in network marketing, they're doing good. They're making 5, 10 grand a month, maybe even more. The problem is most of their income is coming from one source. And so if anything ever happens to that offer, and we see that happen from time to time, we see it happen outside of network marketing. We certainly see it happen inside of network marketing. I remember when a buddy of mine, there was a company called XL Telecommunications. It was a big juggernaut in the 90s and early 2000s, big juggernaut. And this dude had just built I think it was a 13,000 square foot home, $3 million home, beautiful home, pool, acres. I think he had some horses. I think Steve had some horses, okay? And the week that his family moved into the house, the company that he was promoting for, XL Telecommunications, went bankrupt. XL Telecommunications, the owner, had sold the company. He took the big payday. All right. And then the new owners came in and basically ran the company into the ground. This is one of the reasons we say that your business is not your offer. Your business is you and your following, because Steve, my buddy, he didn't make that decision to sell the company. That was a decision that was made without him. He was a marketer. He's a promoter. All right. You're a marketer. I'm a promoter. All right. Which is why I continue to say your business is not your offer. It's you and it's your following. And so we want to be cautious even with this. So let's say the THW Global becomes what I kind of laid out with YouTube. You know, it becomes a juggernaut. Maybe it doesn't become a $100 billion brand, but it becomes a big juggernaut. And you're making a lot of money in THW Global. And I really want that to happen. Well, here's what I want you to do is you're making this money in THW Global, and you're learning how to market. See, if you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing, Linwood. But once you learn how to market, guess what? It doesn't matter what you're marketing. So then what I want you to do as you start to grow your income is take a portion of that income and continue to invest back in your business. But instead of investing it just for THW Global, you invest it for another enterprise or for another niche. It may not even be anything to do with network marketing. Okay? So that you ultimately have multiple streams of income stretched across multiple niches. The enemy of great is good. This is where I was for so many years. I was making really good money in my enterprise. I was comfortable, had a large team. And for me, what happened, and this has happened on multiple occasions now, I think I counted 4 times that I was generating $20,000 a month or in excess of $20,000 a month. And then something happened outside of my control, and then the money wasn't there from that source the next month. I want you to hear what I just said. I think it's 4 times, I counted 4 times that I'm building an enterprise, I'm making good money, I'm making, let's say, 20 grand a month or more. And then something happened outside of my control, and the next month the money wasn't there. The company went out of business, or the company ran into some regulatory problems, or what have you, okay? So most people are at the beginner stage. We want to move you to the intermediate stage where you're making the $5,000 to $10,000 a month, but ultimately we want to be polished marketing entrepreneurs where we're making more than 10 grand a month, but we've got a constant flow of high quality laser targeted traffic and leads. All right. And we're developing now these multiple income streams across different niches. And I'm not talking about, hey, you're making money in THW Global, and then you start a new income stream, and then you have to go and you cross recruit, which is really like the unpardonable sin in network marketing. Okay. Cross recruiting is when I go to people that I did not personally enroll and I say, hey, come join me over here in this deal. All right. So we've got Lewis Vinson on the webinar. All right. I don't know who Lewis's referrer is. Cross recruiting would be if I say, hey, Lewis, hey, man, come over here and join me in my weight loss company. And I didn't refer Lewis to THW Global. If I purposely did that, that's wrong. Now, do understand when you're dealing with marketing online. So you could be in THW Global, and let's say you've got some YouTube videos and you're doing some Facebook stuff and you're doing some paid traffic, and then you can have another offer where you're promoting that other offer through paid traffic or what have you, and then somebody that's already in THW Global might opt into your email list and then see what you're offering and enjoying it. That's not cross-recruiting. That's just you marketing. I'm talking about if I were to come on this webinar right now and put up my link for a weight loss offer, hey, y'all, you guys come and join me in this weight loss offer. That's wrong. All right, that's wrong. So when I talk about multiple streams of income, I'm talking about still doing it in an ethical fashion that's not going to basically have you stealing people from the organization. All right. So we want to be polished. We want to have different income streams across different niches and then really scale our business. Okay. So here's marketing in a nutshell. We always want to drive high quality, laser targeted traffic, not just to the offer page, not just to the sales page, not just to the sign up page. The other day, I saw something very interesting. I was checking to see if people were doing any type of pay-per-click traffic with THW Global. Pay-per-click is, let's say you go to Google, you put in THW Global, and maybe there's an ad there, all right, where somebody's promoting THW Global. And I saw that, all right, somebody was promoting THW Global. It was the first pay-per-click ad I had seen. And when I went to see what they were doing, they were taking people directly to the THW Global registration page. Do not do that. This person is paying money to market, which I got no problem with, which is what I want you to do in time, all right, to get traffic. But never just send people to the registration page, or even if the page has a video, all right, that explains the offer, never just send somebody to the video page. You want to send them to a place where you can capture the lead. Why? Because what's the most important thing other than yourself and your business? It's your following, which means you have to build a list. So marketing in a nutshell is building a list, then beginning to bond with that list, develop a relationship with that list so that list becomes a responsive list. Now, how do you do that? You consistently communicate value to the list. Your communication to your list just can't be join me, join me, join me. Your communication to your list can't just be buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. And in network marketing in particular, that's what I see. I'm on someone's list, and this is a person I know and I love them, and they may be on the webinar. I hope they are. But every time they send an email, and I get an email from them once, sometimes twice a day, and it's always join me, join me, join me, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. It's never anything that brings additional value. What if I've already joined you? How are you building a stronger bond with me being in your list? What if I haven't joined you, but all I'm doing is I'm saying the same messaging. It's the same stuff over and over again. Join me, make money, doing what you already do. Well, if I've already seen that 50 times and I haven't joined yet, chances are I'm not going to join you. But now if you sent me something that maybe it was a training, maybe it was a generic training that would help me build whatever business I'm looking to build. Now I start looking forward to your content. Maybe it was a personal development video that you sent out to me. Maybe it was a video that had nothing to do with marketing. It was just designed to build relationship. Maybe you found a YouTube video from a comic, let's say a clean comic. I mean, it was funny to you. Or maybe you saw an animal video. It was funny to you, and you sent that out to your list. You want to bond with your list. Now, this is a sticking point for a lot of people. Building the list is really not that big of an issue, particularly when you start investing in driving traffic. Building a list, that's not the issue. How the heck do I bond with the list, especially if I've struggled and I've never made any money in the industry? Or let's say I'm not a content creator. I'm not the person that's going to put my mug on a YouTube video, or I'm not comfortable even doing a video, or I wouldn't know what to write. If I'm a writer, I wouldn't know what to say because I haven't had a lot of success. See, one of the things in marketing is there is a segment of people out there that say attraction marketing. How many of you have ever heard of that? Attraction marketing. If you've heard of attraction marketing, put a Y in your questions box. Attraction marketing. Yeah, okay. All right. So, Yvette Lemon-Tolliver, I'm so proud of you. You are building a kick butt business in THW Global. Congratulations to you. Attraction marketing basically says, hold yourself out as a leader. Don't just promote your deal. Don't just promote THW Global. Don't just promote your weight loss offer. Don't just promote your travel company. Promote yourself as a leader. Promote yourself as a leader. All right. So people are drawn to you, and then let them buy you. And then when they buy you, then they're more likely to buy what you're selling or what you're promoting or what have you. And that sounds good. The problem is, if you've not made a lot of money in this industry, as most people have not, and if you're not a content creator, as most people are not, and if you're just kind of getting started with this marketing thing, how do you hold yourself out as a leader and do it authentically? Do it from a place of being genuine, where when people see or hear your content, they say, that's who I want to connect with. And that's where a lot of people have a big problem. So one of the things that we've done is we produce content knowing that most people are not content creators. People ask, and I've even gotten some criticism. That's okay. They just didn't understand. Well, who's this Doc dude? Why don't you tell me your whole name? But the reason I don't tell you my whole name is so that I can cut content that other people can leverage on their YouTube channel, or they can send out in their email list. And the only thing they ever hear from me is funnel doc. Well, who the heck is that? So they don't come to me, they come back to you. And so with the systems that we're developing for our following that we'll be launching soon, a mobile marketing system, and then we'll have another system not long after that we'll be marketing, we'll have something that we call a value vault. The value vault is a series of video messages designed to bring value to your audience. I never mention my name. I never have a personal referral link or what have you. And what we've done is what we do. We're content creators. So we might have a message that deals with marketing training. Like I could take what we're doing right now, just from these PowerPoint slides. I could take what we're doing right now, and I could probably do 10, 15 videos from what we're doing right now. You know, 7, 10 minute, 15 minute video, what have you, that you could then send out to your audience. You don't have to be the content creator. You just have to provide quality content. A lot of the messages that I send out to my list are not messages where I'm the one providing the content. I'm just I'm the content creator, I should say. I'm providing the content, but I'm not the content creator. If I send out a personal development message, that typically that's not me. That's something that I saw that I'm leveraging, and I sent it out to my team, but it helps to build a bond. It helps to build a bond. It helps to build a bond. If I find a good, clean comedian and I watch, man, and it's funny, I know that if my audience is watching that and they're laughing, they're a lot more likely to open up my next email, my next text, my next push notification that may have a promotional bent to that next one. But I've got a bond. I've got a bond. I've got a bond. And so what happens is, I say that your business is you, and your following is not just your list. You'll have people in your list who won't understand what you're doing. I had someone in my list, I did a training on it last week, I had someone in my list who sent me a really nasty email. I mean, it was nasty. Oh, bunch of profanity and just nasty. Call me. And some of you saw the training I did on it, so you know how to deal with that when that arises. It will arise as you build your business. How do you deal with that? Sometimes you just don't deal with it at all. Just delete it. If you decide to respond, how do you respond to it so you don't get into a negative space? So not everybody on your list is going to be in your following. Not everybody on your list is going to be saying, attaboy, attagirl. Not everybody on your list is going to love you. And here's the thing. Here's the problem. This is why you got to work on yourself. Because we all want to be loved. We all want the pat on the back. We all want the attaboy. If you're not working on your personal development, sometimes when you see that stuff, it'll take you to a space, a negative space where you don't need to be. But if you're working on yourself and you say, hey, that's just a person that's in a negative space. They're good people. They probably love their family. The family loves them. Having a bad day, they're taking it out on me. No big deal. And you don't allow it to affect you because you're working on yourself. So when I got that day, there was a part of me, because I'm still working on me. I still got my own subconscious programming. You know, nobody likes rejection. Nobody likes, everybody wants to be well thought of. And the people who say, well, I don't care what people say, that ain't true. Yes, they do. They may not bother you like it might bother some other folks. So you want to build a bond. If you don't know how to do that, please stay connected to us. So you'll learn how to build a bond. Not only will you be able to leverage some of our content, but what I want you to see is how we bond with our list. Because some of you can do what I do very easily. You could do a little PowerPoint and get a microphone and never even put it. There's a reason I never put my face on camera, because for those of you who say, well, I could do that. I could present that type of material, but I don't want my face on camera. Well, I haven't put my face on camera in probably 2 years. Everything has been like PowerPoint. So you build your list, you bond with your list, and then you monetize. You build your bond, you build your bond, you build your bond, you monetize. Now, the reality is we've got a system that's coming out. It's a mobile marketing system. We'll talk more about this on our Thursday night webinar. Same webinar link, same webinar time. Our whole focus is on our mobile marketing system. That system will allow you to shortcut the monetization part, meaning typically you have to build your list, you got to bond, and that bonding process takes time. And so normally it takes a new person just starting to build a list some time before they start to monetize their list. And therein becomes a problem because a lot of people run out of money before the monetization begins. That's one of the reasons why we are attracted to the THW Global offer, because people, even before they've even started the marketing stuff, can start making money doing things they already do, but doing it through the THW Global platform. But that's where we want you to take the 10-hour pledge and maximize your 10 hours that you can use the site to generate these tokens that become points and then that become cash. And I don't know what that's going to mean when you come out the gate. You know, you're going to earn up to $1,000. Likely not just doing that starting off, but as she matures, then you should earn more and more and more and more. And so whatever you make, take 50% of that, maybe as much as 100% of that, reinvest that back into your business, the tools, the resources, the traffic, so on and so forth. So the system that we'll talk about on this coming Thursday is going to help fast forward the monetization process. You still want to bond, but it'll help fast forward the monetization process. So here are the 3 major skills that we want to focus on developing. Constantly building our list. Constantly building our list. I should say, I didn't change this. I should say constantly working on yourself. That should really be number 1. Constantly working on yourself. That didn't cost you anything. Now, you might have a little investment if you go down to the bookstore or if you download an MP3 and maybe you paid a little money for that MP3 because there's a particular voice that really resonates with you. But a lot of that, for instance, I do a lot of my personal development through YouTube. In time through THW Global, right? But for right now, through YouTube. So constantly working on yourself, then constantly building your list, and ultimately understand that we want to build our list with paid traffic. You may not have a budget right now for paid traffic. That may be something you have to scale into, but ultimately you want to build a list with paid traffic. Probably next week when we do our combo, we'll talk more about paid traffic and why paid traffic, okay? Then you want to bond with your list by providing consistent, valuable content. All right, we'll have the value vault, but one of the other things we want you to begin to do is be on the lookout for quality content out there. When you see something that's quality that you can send to your list, that's going to provide value to them. Value doesn't just mean marketing training, but that, you know, if you see some good marketing training out there, send it. Just make sure, this is a big thing. Anything you send, make sure that there isn't a call to action that would take your person away from what you want them to do. In other words, you would not want to take one of my videos. If I did a video that was specifically to my list where I was doing a call to action where I said, hey, join me, you know, go to joinme.com. All right, you wouldn't want to take that video and then have that video where it says, hey, join me, joinme.com, when that joinme.com goes to my site. That's fictitious, by the way. All right, I don't have a joinme.com. But you want to make sure that if you're leveraging anybody else's content, particularly if it's video type content, that there isn't a call to action that takes your person away from where you want your person to go. You're delivering the content because you want to bond with your list and you want people to ultimately listen to your promotional message. So when you do have something where you're saying, hey, buy this from me, or hey, join me in this, or what have you, they're more apt to open up your content because they know they're going to get value. They know they're not just going to get a pitch. Nothing wrong with the pitch so long as your pitch is wrapped in value. Okay? And the monetization of your list is really a byproduct of building and bonding, building and bonding, building and bonding. The way that you essentially print money on demand is you have your list, you've been developing a bond with that list, and now all of a sudden you see an offer. The offer isn't always network marketing. It might be a product that you see in ClickBank. It might be a product you see through JVZoo, and you're an affiliate with ClickBank, which doesn't cost you anything, and you send out this email or this text message about this particular product or service, and you've got people now that are attentive to your message, and a percentage of those folks open it up, and a percentage of the people go to the link, and a percentage of those people buy or join or what have you, and then you just made some money. By the way, when I talk about multiple streams of income, those are the things I'm talking about. I'm not just saying have 23 different network marketing companies. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about when I'm talking about multiple streams. So in time, what starts to happen is you are on the hunt for products and services that bring value to your list that you can be an affiliate of, in addition to your network marketing enterprises or what have you, that you can send out an email saying, hey, hey guys, hey guyettes, here's a service, here's a product that I find value in. Hey, check it out, what have you. A percentage of people click on the link, a percentage of people see the offer, a percentage of the people buy or join, you make money. Okay? If you got value out of what we just did, I'm closing out. We'll get into an optional Q&A. If you got value out of what we just did, in your questions box, put a V there. If you got value, give me a little love. If you didn't get value, I'm probably not your guy, and that's okay. Fantastic. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, Ann. I love you too, Ann. Thank you. Oh, I'm getting some love. Jose giving me some love. Thanks, buddy. I got some cool beans from Ethel. I like cool beans, Ethel. Thanks a lot, Harry. I appreciate that. All those, there's a whole bunch of you that did the yeses, and so I appreciate that. Everybody wants to be validated, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right. So now let's do this. Let's go into an optional Q&A. Hey, Queen, are you there? You still here with me, Queen?